Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and to another installment of my Kevin Sits Here and Listens to Music and Appreciates It for You All series, this part of the Tori Amos section. I hope you enjoyed the little earthquakes one that I did. I got some nice feedback on it, which makes me feel good. Just want to start by saying thank you for everyone who's liked and subscribed to this channel and who's joined me on this journey here. It's been pretty amazing. I had a little goal before the beginning of the year, and I got it, which is good, or before the end of last year, I should say. We are now in 2025. This is my first official video of 2025. And I think maybe I took a minute to post it because it's going to be an emotional ride, because I do have very strong emotional attachments to this album, and particularly one song, which we'll get to. But pretty good year starting off. My thoughts here, because sometimes when somebody has a great album, as a first album, which Little Earthquakes was, the second album has a lot to live up to. But to me, Under the Pink is literally just a continuation on the road that was so beautifully paved by Little Earthquakes. These songs are so gorgeous and speak so deeply to your soul, and again, like with Tori's songs in general, I don't really like to interpret them deeply because it can mean something to everyone. Plus, she's sometimes esoteric, sometimes just in her own fantasy world that it's up to interpretation. So I like that. But I'm trying to give you my feelings on it and how these songs make me feel. And I like here very Laura Nyro here, going from one mood to the next, which I just... Talk about a movie. What's it gonna take? Oh. Anyway, yeah, Under the Pink is probably one of the best sophomore efforts, quote unquote, anybody ever released, because it's just what it is. So I'm going to tell you as we head into the next song why this album and this song is so important to me, in good and bad ways, okay? And I'm going to preface this by saying that the song has never been truly tainted or taken away from me, but God is the song that played when I got the out of the blue news that my mom passed away. I was home alone. My mother was in the hospital. My dad went to see her, and it was morning, but my friends were meeting at my house because we were going to see the Indigo Girls at Central Park that day. And just while getting ready to hang out, I was probably smoking and listening to Tori just on the big stereo downstairs. And the phone rang in my room, which was my own personal line. This is a very late 90s, early 2000s thing. I had my own phone in my bedroom. Well, the phone rang and I ran upstairs to get the phone. It was my dad pretty much screaming into the phone that my mom passed away, right? And then in the background I hear this song, and it's like it was surreal, and let's just say I knew what the song was about right away in that moment. And I ran downstairs and sort of dove into the radio to shut it off. I remember hitting the CD player to just shut it all off. But the song still, though, actually from that point on almost became a cathartic helping point for me, because yes, it's part of that horrible moment where my worst fear came true, but it helped that Tori was sort of saying look, kid, sometimes God does not come to you, and exactly. See, only she gets it. I got through that part of the story. That was good. So yeah, I've used this since pretty much as anytime I get aggravated or upset about the situation, it's a good way to say, hey, look, even Tori got it. So I got through that story. I put it out into the universe, just as a way to just let people know maybe that there's always the other side of things. Okay, I promise you. But so we'll move on to something light and refreshing like bells for her. Okay, just kidding. One thing Tori usually is light and refreshing, so that's good. And fine, and when she is, she can be, which is great. That's not why you go to her, you know. You go to certain restaurants for certain meals, and you go to certain albums for certain feelings. And Tori's one of those artists that you go to for certain things, and I certainly do, and have, and still do, even after all these years. Point of fact, I'm getting over a cold, so if I sound a little nasally, maybe that's why I'm just getting self-conscious, because I know I have a following now. Again, thank you for everybody who is following me on this journey. I've posted a lot of shorts lately because they seem to get a lot of traction, but anybody who's watching my long-form videos and my musical appreciations, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, because it helps so much for me to get this artistic energy out, believe me. So I love this song. It's so beautiful. It's so pretty. I really need to see Tori play again. It's been a few years. For many years, I saw her every year for forever. So I just wanted to make sure that worked. Yeah, I think it did. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I had to unplug my other phone in case. So yeah, let's keep going up. Now, here's our special guest, Trent Reznor, who I like that they were friends, which is so cool. Tori had the coolest guy friends of the 90s, okay? Like, her, besties pretty much were Michael Stipe, Trent Reznor, Maynard from Tool. It's like she hung out with the coolest guys. And, hello, it makes sense, because she's Tori. Wouldn't you want to hang out with her? I sure would. So if anybody doesn't know, that's Tori with Trent singing back up with her, which is so beautiful. I love this song. It's a great video too. Tori has some great videos especially from the 90s, Going back, the God video is crazy. It's got some imagery on it. But so good. That groove. Yeah, man, she was like, I'm gonna give him something on this album, because Little Earthquakes was a commercial and critical success, so she had to follow it up with something, and she really did. She has a string of albums to me that are just so great. I love when artists get on a roll like that. You ever notice that? Some art, I'm a big Joni fan, as you can tell from this channel. She has these really long stretches of really amazing output. Tori does the same thing. And again, I'm not into her later albums as much as I am the first, say, 8 or so. But I will, and that's why I'm going to use this channel too, as part of that too, to rediscover, or even frankly for the first time, some of her more recent albums, which I've sort of slept on just because it's just how things go. Let's go to Baker. I have a friend, Lauren, who I've met recently, but become very close with very quickly. It's interesting how this happens in this world, but she recently played this for me. She knows how to play Tori songs, so anybody who I know who does that, can you play me some Tori songs? I don't know if I asked her to play this, but she chose it, and it spoke to me for the first time, very deeply. You ever hear a song a million times? Never really knew what the song was about. Something told me it was wrapped up in her assault too, which I think it scared me, but I think maybe they were wrong. So I don't know, either way, but the very end of the song hit me like a ton of bricks when she played it for me, and I almost fell out of the chair. Because, sometimes songs can do that to you. And Tori songs could absolutely do that to you. They do that to me often. I like these interludes. Well, I shouldn't say interludes. These songs that are this, or she has them on all her albums. That to me remind me of what Queen used to do, with in between songs, have a song that has some sort of different feel to it, which I love. It just breaks the album up. It gives the album variety and feel, but I love some. It's so good. Her music in general, I love the classical roots that were there. Talking about a song with like oomph. I saw Tori one time at Madison Square Garden, where the place went dark. I'm pretty sure she was in the middle of the stadium at this point, and spotlights hit her at once, and she started to play The Waitress. And the spotlights were going all around the stadium. It was magical. It was amazing. You know, Tori live shows are one of the most amazing experiences ever, if you could ever see her play. I mean, she's on par with almost nobody. And I honestly like her better when it's just her and a piano. Not like her better. I love her with a band too, because she always look when Tori's gonna have a band. Like this song with a band, oh, I believe in peace. I believe in peace. I believe in peace. So good. Whew. And then, yeah. And the first time I saw Tori was a Dewdrop Inn, and the last time I saw her was like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And I've seen a lot in between, but that show at Amos, she hit me hard. Landslide, she did Landslide the same way, where like the spotlight sort of just like nailed her just by herself. Tori covers, nothing like it. I'm gonna do a whole video probably of my favorite, not probably, definitely of my favorite Tori covers because she does them so well. So Cornflake Girl was like, is it technically her biggest hit? It's the only Tori song I ever really remember hearing on the radio. So I'm from New York, New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey, but New York radio is like heavy where I live. But even when I drove, one time I drove down to Baltimore to pick up a friend of mine at college back in the day, and we heard Tori on the radio there in Baltimore too. Which I mean, that's a hometown. She's from there, sort of. But also in New York, sometimes certain stations would play her when she had like a hit. But Cornflake Girl was the one that I remember hearing more than it when radio really was a thing. It's one of my favorite songs. I like the idea of the Raisin Girls, you know, like that reminds me of me and my friends, you know. Plus, it's just like a kick-ass song. It's a great song live. Sometimes she would start it with like, and one time she did this like bizarre, like crazy dance while I think it was Steve Caton played the acoustic guitar. It was fantastic. I love her. I don't really know what this song is about fully, but I like the idea of the dichotomy between the Cornflake Girls and the Raisin Girls. So good. Now, Icicle, to me, is one of her most brilliant songs. It's so pretty, it's so beautiful, but it's also one of her most personal songs. And it's kind of like we've all been there, girl. I think it's about, let's just say it's about self-discovery. Okay? Just saying. And it's about other things too. If you really dig deep into this song, it can go places, whatever, but let's just leave it as, since I don't want to get flagged here, it's about self-discovery. Okay? And also the way that it starts off very slow, as self-discovery often does, and then gets like really, really intense. And like the more intense it gets, it's, I don't know that, like, I don't know if somebody told me this or it just sort of made sense to me that the piano is mimicking the act, quote unquote. Okay, so I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. And then rough around the edges, honey. That's the name of the game around these parts. Speaking of, I'll be getting a microphone soon, so the audio quality will be better, I hope, soon, which is good. This song is so beautiful. It's also very beautiful live, too. I love it live. This whole album just has such a pretty tone to the piano and to her voice. It just feels good, you know, like when albums feel good. That's this one. Now, getting towards the end of this album, she really knocks it out of the park. This is one of my favorite songs by her, period, off of any of her albums. It's very intense. Gives me the chills. All the girls here freezing cold. Leave me with your borneo there. I don't need much to keep me warm. Oof. So, let's just listen. It won't be fair if I hate her. If I hate him, you can go now. You can go now. So yeah, I love how albums begin. I also love how albums end. Circles and circles and circles again. Now, Space Dog, again, another great kick-ass song live. In fact, she just released a live album. It's like live B-sides or something like that, whatever, which I haven't listened to yet, but good, because Tori live is a revelation. But she's also great on, I mean, these albums are amazing too. However, she's one of those artists that really... Secret Society. And me and my friends would go on like mini tour of Tori too. We'd see her like 3 or 4 times within the tour, which I was, you know, we were like the Grateful Dead but with Tori. Sort of. On a very low key way. I'm like, we saw 2 shows and we were like, I'm on tour, okay? I'm on Tori tour. We were on something. I love singing that, obviously. On the ground he said. Yes, Anastasia. It's so beautiful. Rip your heart out too. Again, Under the Pink is just one of those albums that, like right now, it's kind of like a dreary day here. I'm in New Jersey in the middle of, or the beginning of January. It's like gonna snow, I think. This is like a great Under the Pink day, okay? The song is like, forget it. I'm like, I already cried on this thing. I want to do it twice. That's right, there's nothing after this. Well, listen, I want to thank you all for coming to my Under the Pink-a-thon here. Again, it's nothing deep. It's just my musings on things, and I want to do this for all her albums because it just feels good, and I want to just sort of appreciate her and her music publicly, you know, because it means so much to me. And as you know from the beginning, her music has been there for me for some of the worst times, some of the best times too. Some of the best times that I've ever had in my whole life have been with my friends at Tori shows. All right, so there's always that juxtaposition, and then afterwards, her music is there to help uplift you and soothe you and all those amazing things music can do. So, in the meantime, thanks for listening. If you're here this far, I love you. Please subscribe. You better be subscribed if you're listening this far. But to my fellow Tori fans, thanks for being with me on this journey. Go watch some of my Joni videos because Joni is like Tori's godmother in my head. But lots of love, and I'll see you next time.